My friend, life is not as complicated as we make it. Most of the problems people wrestle with every day are not the monsters they appear to be. They're simply the result of ignoring a few timeless lessons. See, you don't need 10 new strategies to fix your life. You need a handful of principles that actually work. You don't have to fix everything, just the 93% that keeps you stuck, tired, broke, or uninspired. Everything begins with you, my friend. Before you can lead a team, build a business, or change the world, you have to win the battle within. See, too many people are trying to fix their circumstances without fixing themselves. They want a better job, but keep the same lazy habits. They want better relationships, but refuse to confront their own pride. They want peace of mind, but won't let go of their anger. Life doesn't work that way. You can't master the world outside until you've conquered the world inside. When you wake up in the morning, your first enemy isn't the world. It's your own weakness. It's the voice that tells you to stay in bed, to take it easy, to postpone your purpose until tomorrow. But every time you say no to that voice, you build strength. Discipline is the price you pay to become the kind of person who can handle success. If you don't pay that price, life will charge you something far more painful: regret. Self-mastery is not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's about asking yourself, who do I want to become? And then making decisions that match that vision. It means you don't act based on your mood. You act based on your mission. You don't let your emotions drive you off the road. You grab the wheel and steer toward your goals. That's how strong people are made, not by chance, but by choice. When you learn to master yourself, you stop living in reaction mode. You stop being tossed around by what others say or do. You begin to respond with clarity, not chaos. You learn patience where you once had anger, focus where you once had distraction, and peace where you once had panic. Your days become smoother, not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. Control your thoughts, and your emotions will follow. Control your mornings, and your days will obey. Control your words, and your relationships will heal. That's the secret most people miss. External chaos is just internal disorder spilling out. The more order you build within, the more order you'll find around you. And remember, self-mastery is a lifelong journey. You don't arrive, you evolve. Every day, you train your mind like a muscle. You resist the urge to quit. You feed yourself wisdom instead of garbage. You keep your word even when no one's watching. Because if you can trust yourself, you can face anything. When you master yourself, you stop being a victim of circumstance. You start being a creator of outcomes. The storms don't stop, but you become the calm within them. And once you've conquered that inner battlefield, my friend, life outside begins to fall beautifully in place. Taking responsibility is where the real transformation begins. It's the dividing line between those who live as victims and those who rise as victors. You see, the moment you decide that your life is fully your own, your results, your habits, your happiness, your pain, that's the moment everything starts to change. But as long as you keep saying, it's their fault, you hand over your power. The one who blames gives away control, and the one who takes responsibility takes command. Most people spend their entire lives pointing fingers. They blame the economy, their parents, their boss, their upbringing, their luck, anything that keeps them from looking in the mirror. But nothing changes until you do, because here's the truth. No one's coming to save you. Not the government, not the company, not even your closest friend. It's your life, and until you own every part of it, you'll always feel like you're living someone else's story. Responsibility doesn't mean guilt. It means ownership. It means you recognize that you have the power to respond differently, to think differently, to act differently. If someone betrayed you, you can't change what they did, but you can decide how long you'll keep carrying the pain. If your business failed, you can't rewrite the past, but you can learn from the loss and build smarter next time. That's what responsibility gives you, the ability to turn pain into power. You'll notice that the people who rise in life are the ones who never make excuses. They fall, but they get back up. They get rejected, but they learn from it. They lose, but they analyze why. They don't wait for life to get easier. They get better. They treat every outcome, good or bad, as a lesson they created, not a punishment they suffered. That's how leaders are made. When you take full responsibility, you begin to see life differently. Suddenly, problems become challenges. Setbacks become teachers. Even heartbreak becomes a lesson in wisdom. And the more responsibility you take, the freer you become. It sounds ironic, but that's the truth. The moment you stop blaming, you stop being trapped. Because when you say, "It's my fault," you also say, "It's in my power to fix it." Think about it. You can fix 93% of your problems just by changing that one attitude, "It's up to me." Because when you believe that, your mind goes to work finding solutions. You stop waiting for permission and start taking initiative. You stop hoping and start acting. Responsibility wakes up the sleeping giant within you, the part of you that can overcome, rebuild, and rise again stronger than before. And yes, responsibility is heavy. It's not easy to carry, but that weight builds muscle, character muscle, success muscle, leadership muscle. Every burden you take on makes you stronger for the next one. So instead of asking life to be lighter, ask yourself to be stronger. When you take responsibility for everything, your health, your attitude, your time, your words, your results, life stops being something that happens to you. It becomes something you shape. You go from being the passenger to being the driver. And that, my friend, is when real freedom begins. When you finally realize that every piece of your life is in your hands. One of the greatest breakthroughs in life comes when you finally understand that not everything deserves your time, your energy, or your attention. Most of the pain people carry doesn't come from what they lack. It comes from what they refuse to let go of. We fill our minds with noise, our schedules with nonsense, and our hearts with people or problems that drain us. Then we wonder why we feel empty, tired, and lost. The truth is, life gets simpler and more peaceful the moment you decide to stop chasing everything and start focusing on what truly matters. We live in a world that teaches us to do more, buy more, post more, prove more, but rarely to be more. We've confused busyness with purpose. We rush through our days collecting distractions like trophies, thinking we're accomplishing something, when in reality, we're just running in circles. The secret to peace isn't adding more to your life, it's removing what doesn't belong. Start by asking yourself, what really matters to me? Most people never stop long enough to ask that question. They chase careers that don't fulfill them, maintain relationships that drain them, and fill their homes with things that mean nothing. But when you strip away the noise, you'll realize that what truly matters is surprisingly simple: your health, your peace, your growth, your purpose, and the people who love you for who you are. Everything else is background noise. Letting go is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's knowing that not every argument deserves your voice, not every opinion deserves your attention, and not every person deserves access to your heart. When you learn to detach from what's petty, you free yourself for what's powerful. You stop reacting to every little thing that goes wrong and start responding only to what moves you forward. That's how emotional maturity is built, not by controlling the world, but by controlling your focus. You see, life is like a garden. If you plant too many things, even the good seeds struggle to grow. You have to pull the weeds, the toxic habits, the draining friendships, the old grudges, the regrets. Clear the space because peace doesn't come from having more flowers. It comes from having fewer weeds. When you stop watering what doesn't serve you, you'll have enough energy to nurture what does. Simplifying your life doesn't mean you stop dreaming. It means you stop wasting energy on distractions that lead nowhere. It means you stop trying to impress people who don't even notice your effort. It means you stop overthinking what you can't control and start mastering what you can. When you do that, clarity returns, energy returns, purpose returns. So take inventory of your life. Look at your calendar, your habits, your thoughts. Ask yourself, does this help me grow or does it drain me? If it adds value, keep it. If it steals peace, release it. The more you declutter your inner world, the more focused your outer world becomes. In the end, peace doesn't come from having everything, it comes from valuing the right things. Focus on what truly matters: your character, your relationships, your contribution, your spiritual growth, your self-respect. Those are the things that will stand the test of time. Everything else fades. And remember, my friend, simplicity is not about having less. It's about making room for more of what matters. The moment you understand that, 93% of your problems will no longer feel like problems at all. They'll simply fall away because they were never worth carrying in the first place. Motivation is wonderful. It's the spark that gets the fire started. But if all you have is motivation, you'll burn out before you ever reach the goal. Motivation gets you going. Skill keeps you growing. You see, the marketplace doesn't pay for enthusiasm, it pays for competence. The world doesn't reward good intentions, it rewards results. And results only come to those who are skilled. Too many people are waiting to feel ready. They want to be inspired before they act, confident before they start, and perfect before they begin. But success doesn't work that way. You don't get confidence first, you build it through skill. You don't get good by wishing, you get good by working. You show up when you're not ready, you stumble, you learn, and you improve. That's how growth happens. See, motivation might get you through a good day, but skill will get you through a bad one. When life gets tough, motivation fades, but skill keeps you steady. If you know how to sell, how to lead, how to solve problems, how to communicate, you can rebuild from almost anything. But if all you have are positive vibes and no ability, every obstacle will knock you down. That's why every day is a classroom. Every conversation, every challenge, every mistake is a lesson. The people who win in life are the ones who keep learning. They read, they listen, they practice. They treat every experience like training. They don't say, I already know this. They ask, how can I do this better? That's the difference between the dreamers and the doers. The dreamers talk about what they want. The doers sharpen the skills that get them there. When you work on your skills, you build something that no one can take away from you. Jobs can end, markets can change, money can vanish. But a skilled mind and disciplined hands are wealth that never leaves. Skill gives you confidence. Skill gives you independence. Skill gives you peace of mind, because you know you can adapt to whatever comes. Think about it this way: a skilled carpenter doesn't fear broken wood. A skilled speaker doesn't fear a tough crowd. A skilled leader doesn't fear crisis. Why? Because they've built their craft. They've spent hours failing, adjusting, and learning until mastery became natural. That's what separates professionals from amateurs: preparation. So instead of chasing motivation, chase mastery. Learn how to communicate with clarity, how to manage time with precision, how to think critically, how to handle emotions intelligently. Read books, take courses, ask questions, And most importantly, practice. Motivation will fade by next week, but skill will stay with you for life. Don't wait for opportunities to show up before you get ready. Get ready so that when opportunity knocks, you're qualified to answer. Because the truth is, opportunities rarely come to those who want them. They come to those who are ready for them. So, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Build your skill set until your results speak louder than your words. Let your competence make the noise, not your ambition. Because in the end, motivation may open the door, but skill is what keeps you inside the room. And when you commit to mastery, my friend, most of life's struggles begin to fade. Not because life got easier, but because you got better. Growth, my friend, is the heartbeat of a fulfilled life. The moment you stop growing, you start declining, even if everything looks fine on the outside. Comfort is the silent killer of greatness. You can have success, security, even status, and still be dying inside if you've stopped learning, stretching, and challenging yourself. The greatest tragedy is not failure, it's stagnation. Because failure at least means you were moving. Stagnation means you settled. It's easy to grow when life is hard. Pain pushes you. But when life gets good, when the bills are paid, when the job feels stable, when people start clapping for you, that's when you're most at risk. That's when the hunger starts to fade and the edge dulls. You begin to trade progress for comfort, and before you know it, you're living off the memory of who you used to be. You're coasting on yesterday's effort. And remember this, nothing in life stays fresh without growth. Not your career, not your mind, not your relationships, not your spirit. Growth means you keep asking questions, even when you think you know the answers. It means you remain a student, even after you've become a teacher. It means you never stop reading, never stop listening, never stop seeking ways to become a little wiser, a little stronger, a little kinder. The moment you think you've arrived, you've already begun to decline. See, the world keeps changing. Technology changes, people change, opportunities change. And if you stay the same, you'll get left behind. Growth is your insurance policy against irrelevance. It keeps you adaptable, resilient, and alive. Every new skill you learn, every new idea you explore, every new habit you build adds another layer of strength to your life. You become like a tree planted deep in discipline but always reaching higher. And don't think growth is only about your career. It's about your character. Grow in patience, grow in gratitude, grow in humility, grow in empathy, because real success isn't just about achieving more, it's about becoming more. The person who keeps growing can lose everything and still rebuild, because they carry their value inside. Sometimes growth comes disguised as struggle. Life will test you not to break you, but to stretch you. When things get uncomfortable, don't resist, learn. Don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Every challenge has a lesson, and the faster you find it, the faster you grow. Growth turns pain into wisdom, failure into feedback, loss into leadership. And here's the beautiful part, growth is infinite. There's always another level. No matter how far you've come, there's more to learn, more to give, more to experience. The great ones never stop climbing. They celebrate progress, yes, but they never pitch a tent on the mountain. They rest, reflect, and then they climb again. So, don't let comfort trick you into thinking you've made it. Don't stop reading because you think you know enough. Don't stop improving because things are good enough. Keep growing, keep stretching, keep becoming, because life rewards movement, and the one who keeps growing will always find new horizons, new strength, and new joy waiting on the other side. The truth is, growth doesn't just make life better, it makes you better. And when you keep becoming better, everything around you begins to rise. That's how you stay alive, relevant, and fulfilled, not by standing still, but by choosing every day to keep growing, no matter how good life gets. If you learn to master yourself, take full responsibility, focus on what matters, build real skills, and keep growing, you'll discover that life gets simpler. Problems don't vanish, but they no longer control you. You'll fix 93% of what's been holding you back. Because success, my friend, is never about knowing everything. It's about living the right lessons every day.